I got a closer look at the work on precision farming at Iowa State University in this special report. Inside the walls of Iowa State University, PhD students are developing the future of farming, precision accuracy in fertilizing through nutrient probes.
When in farm country, you're concerned about how can you help the environment, how can you help farmers. So we started making these ion selective nitrogen sensors, and it worked out really well. We could measure them in the laboratory, which showed really promising results.
The sensors allow farmers to measure nutrient levels, like nitrogen in the soil, constantly, rather than periodically throughout the growing season.
They'll pull a soil core and send that sample back to the laboratory to take a measurement. And that's just, it's cumbersome, it's costly. You have to go out to the field and take a one-time measurement.
Clausen adds that typically farmers over-fertilize to maximize their yield, something that's often not needed and costly.
This way they can spoon-feed their nitrogen, so to speak, throughout the growing season or their fertilizer, instead of just making a good guess.
This is especially important in growing corn, which requires nitrogen-rich fertilizer to be added throughout the season. With the sensors, farmers could add nitrogen to their crop with more accuracy than ever. Out in the fields, not many know the difficulties of fertilizing corn better than Tom Carmen, a third-generation corn and soybean farmer in Urbana.
Corn's a lot more high maintenance than beans. Beans, you pretty much sow on the ground, spray them, kill the weeds, maybe a fungicide. Corn, you kind of got to spoon feed it the whole time.
With a need for a careful eye, Carmen notes the outlook for this year's growing season.
This past corn crop that we put in is the most expensive corn crop that we've planted. The cost of fertilizer has gone up, nitrogen's kind of skyrocketed and stuff too. So about an acre of corn this year, you're looking at about $1,000 an acre is what we're looking at.
He adds that number is variable depending on the farm and rents, but regardless, costs are high.
We're hoping that stuff's going to go down, but then again, you never know, I guess.
Back in the lab, Clausen and his fellow researchers believe the probes could cut back on a portion of those costs in fertilizing.
Even if they brought that cost down 20-30%, that could be a substantial savings for a farm where the cost margin is so low.
The challenge now is bringing the probes onto a production scale, ensuring they can last the growing season.
So here is an example of the soil probe immersed in a soil slurry. We are testing the longevity of the sensors and seeing if the telemetry is really working in collecting the data. So it can be every 5 minutes we can collect data. We can collect data every 30 minutes. Cool. Yeah, it's fine-tuning to really launch.
Despite a bit of that fine-tuning still to go before launch, to many farmers like Carmen, the probes could be a game changer in how he treats his fields.
If you know that you're getting low on nitrogen at certain times and heavy rains will take away a lot of your nitrogen if you have pooling or standing water, later in the year that area is going to need more nitrogen, or you lost a lot of that nitrogen too. So that's where those probes would be a great idea and good to have. You could place one of those in those areas.
The probes are the latest in a long line of innovations in ag technology, with the convergence of tech and farming getting stronger as years pass.
Everything is just getting fine-tuned and going really to the technology side, and it makes our life a heck of a lot easier, especially when the stuff is working. You can plant all day and not have to stare at a line, and make sure that you're keeping the rows straight and stuff. The tractor does it itself. We are doing such a better job farming now than we were back in, the 30s, 40s, 50s. It's amazing what the potential is there, and also, how it makes our jobs a lot easier too.
And Van Wall Equipment is partnering with the research with a goal of getting that tech integrated into equipment farmers are already using. The hope is to start rolling out the tech to select farmers as early as next growing season.